Hello, my name is Aldo, and today me and my group are going to be talking about some of the unethical ways engineers use AI and IoT. First, we need to know what an AI is. AI is artificial intelligence. Basically, it is the theory of development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as visible perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translation between languages. Basically, AI can do what humans do. Now we need to know what IoT is. IoT is the Internet of Things. What is the Internet of Things, you might ask? Well, in the broadcast sense, the term IoT encompasses everything connected to the internet, but it is increasingly being used to define objects that talk to each other. Simply, the Internet of Things is made up of devices, from simple sensors to smartphones and wearables, connected together. Then raises the question, what unethical things do engineers do? In a blog posted by Cambria.io was some problems that people have with AI being allowed to do stuff and not do stuff. And one of them was, should AI systems be allowed to kill? Well, in the TED Talk speech given by Jay Truck, he described AI software that writes its own updates and renews itself. This means that, as programmed, the machine is not created to do what we want it to do. It does what it learns to do. Jay goes on to describe an incident with a robot called Talon. Its computerized gun was jammed and opened fire uncontrollably after an explosion, killing 9 people and wounding 14 more. Predator drones, such as General Atomics MQ-1 Predator, have been in existence for over a decade. These remotely piloted aircrafts can fire missiles, although US law requires that humans make the actual decisions to kill, but with drones playing more of a role in aerial military defense, we need to further examine their role and how they are used. Another example would be of an Oxford University study recently showed that AI will outperform humans in all areas within 45 years. Many people therefore believe that the damage for humans is substantial if our objectives are not brought in line with those of the machines. Now, unethical problems that come with the IoT is that since the chips are so simple, they're easily to be hacked. In a CSHub.com article, it states that in the late 2018, Dark Cubed released a report on cheap IoT light bulbs. The findings included permissions where consumers needed to agree to real-time location tracking by a Chinese company to dim their lights at home. This spring, Nest locked users out of their accounts if their passwords had appeared in another breach. This retroactive security was necessary as threat actors were taking control of thermostats, cameras, and security systems with no hacking skills required.
AIs are no longer a science fiction thing. It's completing simple things and improving our lives, but at a different state. But this type of technology becomes more substantial and stable. How will this affect the future workforce? So technology changes in society, like for instance with AI, it gives us so much concern with a good reason. Like for instance, a 2-year study from the McKinsey Global Institute suggests in the future AIs and robots could replace 30% of the world's current human labor, which isn't good. The McKinsey suggestion this revolution can go away from the agriculture 100 years ago in the U.S. and Europe and the Chinese labor explosion. Also, AIs will stop 400 to 800 million jobs by the future, requiring 375 million of them to replace something else rapidly.
The topic deals with the ethical implications and moral questions that arise from the development and implementation of AI technologies. The creation of AI machines and their use in society could have huge impact on criminal and civil law. In the future of AI could be used by organized criminal gangs to support the trafficking and sale of banned substances. Criminal could use AI-equipped unmanned vehicle and autonomous navigation technologies to smuggle illicit substances because smuggling networks are disrupted by monitoring and intercepting transport lines. Law enforcement become more difficult when unmanned vehicles are used to transport. Drones present a real threat in the form of automated drug smuggling. Remote control cocaine trafficking submarines have already been discovered and seized by the US law enforcement. Unmanned underwater vehicles could also be used for illegal activities, posing a significant threat to enforcing drug prohibition. It would make it more difficult to catch the criminals involved.